Hey, it's Gila Erotic Self-Love Mentor, Poet, and Mystic. I'm trying out StreamYard, and it seems super easy, so I'm really excited trying it right now on YouTube. And I had a very special message today. I've been really guided. I've been really, just connecting with other people and sharing this, and I decided I need to put a live up to talk about family. A lot of our pain, a lot of our relationships that are not working or have not worked were due to our experiences in our family, what we didn't have when we were with our parents. It's been proven that we're looking for partners to give us the emotional relationship that we didn't have with our parents. So when we can actually give that to ourselves, then we become more empowered and we form healthy relationships. What I'm here to say today is not that. What I'm here to say is for many years of life, I looked for the things that weren't working with my parents, with my father, with my mom, and I vowed to myself that I wasn't going to have those kinds of relationships in my life, or I wasn't going to be that kind of parent. But what I didn't see, that took me quite a long time to heal, were the good things that they did give me, the spiritual prowess that my father had, or the balance and practicality my mother had, and how they both came into me to create a balance now in my own life. I was so centered on working with women and, becoming this feminist that I lost sight of the depth that I have both within my masculine energy and with other men. I'm proud to be in a mentorship with a male coach, and other men in my life that truly, truly support and love me very deeply. And not the way that my father and I had the relationship, in a different way that was that is very, very nurturing and accepting and empathetic, and truly things that I had desired. What I am what I'm desiring to tell you is that those feelings that I had with my parents were things that I needed to heal, things that I needed to go through to come to this spot right now of balance. And if I didn't go through this deep journey of decades of healing, of acknowledging the pain, of realizing what I don't want and realizing what I do want, all of those things came into seedling and into a blooming of a flower that now is where I am reaping the benefits. And that's, I feel, is a work and replaying the patterns in our relationships with our children, with our partners, with our coworkers. Everywhere we go, we feel like it's being replayed until we realize that we don't have to live that life. I was just thinking today, my father came from India, in a small village at the very tip of India, on a ship to come to the United States to study in Purdue University in Indiana, where it's super cold. And he came from this very warm place that didn't really experience any kind of snow or cold weather. So, and he lived in various places in India, but not quite cold. And he went through that trip. He took, days. I don't even know how long it took him to come by ship to Indianapolis, wherever Purdue is located. And then later settled in New York and brought my mom. And I was born in New York. And I'm like, thank God, that was such a gift. The life that I lived, I would have never lived in India. And the life that my mother lived, she would have never lived in India, as well as my brothers and sisters, I believe. But I feel so, so thankful and grateful for that opportunity, to this opportunity of my life. I do feel some sadness that my children were not able to experience their grandparents, that, my parents were not able to see my kids. But what I do know is that they live inside of me and they live inside of them. And the genealogy and the generational healing, the things that my father wanted to do, I feel that I am doing. So it's not only just a healing of the relationships and what didn't happen and now creating that for myself. It's also the passing on of the torch and actually living the life that they had desired, but may not have been able to due to the circumstances that they were in, which I feel is really important. That was the biggest thing that I realized, when I went to India and did my own generational healing, was I realized that my father and, both my parents did the best they could in their current circumstances. And I can continue not necessarily what they had decided to do, but what I feel I need to do, and is actually an extension of what they had given me, which I feel is a super powerful message. And it may or may not resonate with you depending on your family circumstances. Though I feel for me personally that this was something that I was brought on this planet to accomplish. My soul was brought here. I may have said in previous lives, but I had a sister that passed away 3 years before me. So when I was born, it was a stillbirth. And when I was born, my parents were so ecstatically happy that I was alive. It was like God sent. And I feel that way. I feel that my life has been totally supported by the universe. My parents both passed away by the time I was 21. And I used to think to myself, what the hell? Why am I on this planet? Why do I have to live this life like this? But I do understand now, as much as I can, that this was my soul's calling. This was my soul's calling to realize that I was not abandoned. I was always, always supported and held and loved very dearly by the universe and within my own heart. No one ever, ever left me. I was always, always given everything I needed at exactly the right time. So, and everything happened for me to be in this moment right now of complete sovereignty and balance of both of my energies. And that, I feel, if that is something you are desiring, that is one of our highest journeys, to be in that balance and in that mode of receiving and knowing that the universe is completely giving us everything that we desire in every minute and every moment. And when we seize those moments, like I'm doing right now, I had been thinking about this and I said, I'm going to seize the moment and actually share it, because I am feeling this, strong desire that I must. My father brought me up as in a very kind of conservative environment, but he always, always was connected to so many other religious organizations. And the message always was in my household that God is one. God is everywhere. God is a spiritual force that is magnificent. That's always what I felt. And everything, every book that we had in the house, J. Krishnamurti, any person that you can think of, he had a book in the house. And yoga and, mantra and Sanskrit and, all of this stuff, where we were exposed to everybody and everyone was allowed in our house. And, of course, we had some limitations and there were some things, but that was part of their upbringing, their social conditioning. It doesn't have to be part of mine. And I feel on a very deep level, my parents, especially my father. And even though when he passed away, I was 16, I gained enough from him that I needed to go forth and that up even many years later, and realize that that was the teaching that was imbibed into me since I was a baby. And so I'm asking you, what are the things that were really amazing that your parents gave you, that you are now continuing in your life, while you are letting go of their social conditioning that was passed on to you genetically, emotionally, mentally, that are not working for you? Because that's when you create the beautiful symbiotic and just relationship. They're like, thank you, God, for giving me this from my genealogy. And thank you, God, for giving me this from above, because we are all divine children here on a divine soul mission. So if this is resonating with you and you are desiring more support on how to heal and move forward to really live in your full power, reclaiming all parts of yourself, not just sexually, but emotionally, spiritually, mentally, because this is a holistic healing. It begins inside, in the womb, in the sacral chakra, and it unfolds as it has in my own life in just a matter of 3 years. So I am just really thankful that I can even be here today and talk to you about this. And I'm so thankful for all the men in my life and every single person that has ever touched me, every being for that matter, every plant, every animal, because they have taught me so much. So many memories of my parents have been coming to me these past few days. And, it was about kindness. It was about really allowing animals to be the way they are, eating as clean as we could, and gut health, like so many amazing things that were just passed down to them without thinking. But now I'm conscious of that, and I decide what I want to pass on to my children and what I don't. I'm very conscious of what is going from my family line and what I'm taking from the environment and what I'm given from the above. So when we become consciously aware and we pass that on to our children, we are star seeds, we are way showers, we are people that are changing our lives and the lives of our children and so many others in the process. So if you are desiring to join that movement with me, schedule a call. In the YouTube description is the information. Let's get this going because the time is always now. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Namaste. Om Shanti. Shalom.